Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles. I'm delighted to be with a fellow Los Angelesian right here with me, Uriah, who made a fantastic film from the artist of Remmy Blackwell, which called Daddy's on the Sand. Let's take a look at the clip. Uriah, firstly, I love that name, Uriah. It's such a great name.
Thank you.
Really love it. Thanks for this music video. It was such a great story. I mean, I really forgot I was watching a music video, except I was enjoying the music so much. And I was just captivated by this film that you created. And so thank you for bringing it to us. It's a really great song, and you really made a fantastic video. So, but for those that haven't seen it, in relation to the song and the artist, tell us a brief synopsis of the story of the video.
Well, this video is one of a three-part series, and actually, although it's the first video, it falls in the middle of the story sequence. So at this point, Remmy Blackwell has been abandoned in the desert, and as he drives across the open road, he's lost in his mind and abandoned by everyone in his life. So that's kind of what we're watching in this video. Ultimately, kind of by the end, we see that he stumbles to the ground and is left for dead, essentially.
Yeah, well, you can tell, Remmy, because I put in my notes, I was like, love the song. Like, I absolutely love this song. It was really, really great. And just from your opening as well, with him on the hill, like, I love this journey that took him on in the open road, and you've had some really picturesque, beautiful scenes and setups. Like, it's always interesting to have a conversation about your relation with obviously the artist and how you articulate that into a journey of creating the actual film itself. So how does that work for you when you're being given a song and then turning that into a film? How is that process for you? How do you work together on that?
Well, I mean, in this instance, Dustin and I have collaborated many times over the years. We've worked on a bunch of different short film projects and longer format stuff. And we both just kind of, we've hung out too much and definitely have a laugh together and get one another. So he created this music project and came to me with some ideas and this whole concept of being lost in the desert. And, of course I got him immediately, and we just started brainstorming back and forth, bouncing ideas from New York to Los Angeles because we're on opposite coasts. And, ultimately, we nailed down a bunch of ideas that we really liked, and set up a time, and he flew out, and we hopped in the car and went to the desert.
And well, let me tell you, one of the things I mean, I've been out to the desert, so I do know, but you captivated some most incredible sky shots. You must have had to be there in the magic hour to capture some of these shots. Like, how was that? Because you had some beautiful shots out there. It was incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I think, I go out and poach a lot of shots in the desert and just all around the kind of California area all the time. But I think a fair amount of it is also luck. We just got out there and the weather was really perfect, and it just kind of, all the elements fell into place. I mean, we just had like this amazing sunset and just beautiful, beautiful weather. So,
yeah, I love
that part's luck, I guess.
Yeah, no, but I love the transition from the sort of red to the black of the desert. It was really gorgeous. Now, obviously, there was, I mean, I don't want to give too much away sort of thing, but, there was, I love this kind of symbolism with himself and the guitar, the main character, like, and obviously how it kind of materializes in the film, in the film. When you're working with someone as a director, with your cast in a music video, I mean, obviously it's different because there's no language, you know, it's all through the, so how do you work with your actors in these instincts, and how is that process for you? And you had some really powerful moments with your, you know, actors in there. So
I mean, in those instances, for me, like I have an art department background. I was an art director and production designer for, you know, 12 or 13 years back east. So, when there's, and you know, in art direction, there's a lot of conversation you have with color and with composition and with you know, all the different elements outside of words. And so I definitely think for those moments I draw on that kind of background and that kind of aesthetic approach. You know, what can we get in the foreground here in the shot, and what you know, what's our midground that we're focused on really here. And you know, I think that expressing those conversations and the kind of emotion behind what we're after to the actors helps them to understand kind of the overall voice of the picture, I guess, if you want to say.
And it explains why the art direction was so good. There you go, because there it is right there. Because why is this so good? Oh, it's your profession. There you go.
Well, it was. You know, as of the last about 6 years now, I've just been producing and directing. But I definitely still, you know, I'm an appreciator of the arts, and you know, I definitely draw on that all the time. And you know, during COVID, I've remodeled the apartment, so
I love it.
You know, so it's got its pluses for sure.
Oh, you never lose those talents, definitely not. So well, you know, I mean, you know, when you're obviously working with Mother Nature outside in the desert, I mean, there's a lot of trials and tribulations of putting together. What would you say was the biggest challenge in making this?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a generic statement. The shoestring budget is always, you know, hard to work with, but we were pretty good about just really eliminating all the dead wood. So I'm going to go with just the time. You know, you're just always facing time because, you know, you're running out of that early morning light, and then you know, it's too hot to film and everything's flat, and so you cram what you can in there, and then you know, you look forward to those late hours of the day, and then you're fighting the sun and you're losing it. So, you know, time is definitely, you know, if you can buy another day, you can have more ideas. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the number one constraint, I mean,
one of the things that I love about, you know, watching music videos, I think music videos have really evolved. I think at a time when they got lost, and now, you know, they are literally short films, you know, and I love how that's how you view and see it as well. And I think the one thing about music videos, they live on forever, and you only get one shot to create a music video about a song. Right. So having spread that around now, like, how's the reaction been for you? And tell us a bit more about your kind of process in approaching music videos too.
Well, you know, the reaction has been great. You know, we've been sending this one around to a bunch of festivals, and you know, it's been getting some wins and getting some, you know, a lot of people have enjoyed it. As far as the process goes, I mean, I definitely think you nailed it with, like, you know, the telling of the story within kind of a short narrative format. I think that's a much more engaging and much more evergreen music video than, you know, just a performance piece. Yeah. Not that, you know, performance pieces don't have their place. They absolutely do. But my preference is, you know, let's try and bring somebody into this world of these characters, and, you know, really try to hook them with, you know, intrigue. Why is this guy out in the desert, you know, dragging his guitar, and what got him there, and where is he going to go from here? You know, like, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got me. Like, I was literally like, what is going on with him? Is he going to, you know, and I honestly don't want to reveal too much, because it's, you know, it has a very powerful sliding where we ain't go to, but it was, you know, it emotionally affected me. And so put that together with the song, and it's
awesome. You know, yeah, the music really came out great. It's very funky. Definitely has like some, you know, homage to the Doors and, you know, Lou Reed kind of things going on, and definitely really enjoy the whole album is actually really good. And, you know, there is a part 2, and there will be a part 3.
Nice.
So we shot the second one. We got so excited by shooting the first one, we went and immediately scripted the second one, which we already had a kind of a rough concept for, but we really put that all into play in a couple of hours, and went and shot another one the following day. So
good job. I think you're just a guy that just gets it done, which is great. I love it. Let's do this. Let's make it happen.
Right.
No, thank you. Well, what is next for you?
Actually, tomorrow morning I ship out to shoot a pilot for a docuseries that a good friend of mine's directing. I'm just DPing on it, but that ought to be pretty interesting. You know, we're headed out to the Gulf. I can't really say too much about it, but it's about environmental pollution in water, and you know, fighting for water rights.
Love it.
So that ought to be a good experience. Although we are headed right to where the hurricanes are supposed to hit, so we'll see. It's either going to be great or really not great.
There's a documentary in itself. Make sure you get some B footage. You know.
Yeah, we'll keep the cameras rolling one way or another. We may just not get what we think we're getting. Yeah, exactly. So that, and then, you know, looking down the road from that, I have, you know, a series of commercials that I've been pitching and working on coming up. And then, you know, and then hopefully I'm in talks with Dustin right now about getting back together, you know, when things settle down a little more, and shooting the third installment to this video, which is actually the first part. So it's like the prequel to how he ends up in the situation that he's in with this video, Daddy's on the stand. So.
No. I feel like you're a guy that's going to make it happen. You know, you're going to overcome hurricanes and pandemics and still manage to get through, you know.
I've been through worse, yeah, for sure.
What would you, I mean, I think obviously you've accomplished in your career thus far in so many different amazing areas, and, you know, ever expanding. You know, for any filmmaker that kind of wants to follow in your footsteps, or any advice that you could give to any filmmakers out there, is there anything that you kind of go by to keep yourself motivated and going?
Well, motivation comes from a lot of different places, you know, and everybody's different. So it's hard to say how to stay motivated, but I think, you know, something to keep you motivated and to maybe get you excited about it is, you know, just create things, you know. It doesn't have to be a Michael Bay film, you know what I mean? You can grab a cell phone and go out and shoot ideas. I mean, my brothers and I were shooting films on an old Magnavox VHS recorder that we saved up to buy, and we were, you know, dubbing tape to tape to edit these things. And you know, you can, everything is so accessible now and so available that there's no reason not to be recording stuff and editing it and just experimenting and throwing ideas around, you know. And that to me is motivating, like, you know, just staying busy, keeping the juices flowing, and, you know, accomplishing things. I mean, you sit back and you look at it when you're all done and you've edited everything, and you're like, hey, that's cool. Like, we had an idea and now there it is, and it exists and other people can see it. So
yeah, I mean, again, I love that you said that, because I think there's so many amazing ideas that probably don't get done for whatever reason.
Oh, man, yeah,
you know, and it's
myself included.
At least you're, you know, keeping yourself, you know, busy and just and making as much as you possibly can. I think that's, you know, very, very, you know, inspirational. I love that you're talking about this one. Just finished another one, going off tomorrow. Like, best wishes with all of that, and yeah, try and stay out of the hurricanes. But, you know, a bit of a documentary on the side there, you know. So just keep up. But thank you for bringing this film to us. And so where can we find the next parts when they come through? The next parts of this.
So there's a website called RemmyBlackwell.com. And on that website, there's a link to the Spotify album where you can download the album for free, I believe, and you can definitely stream it on there. And on there right now, we have parts 1 and 2 spun together as its own single piece called Deserted, which ultimately will take all 3 of them and kind of, you know, spin all of them together into one long piece that accompanies the album. So.
Wonderful. We'll keep up the
Let's go.
Keep up this go. I know you're off on the next one, so thank you very much. But thank you for bringing this segment to us. It was really, really brilliant, and I look forward to seeing much more of your work as well. And best wishes for the documentary.
Thank you. And you can always see my other work at Uriah.tv.